Well, it's a sunny day in February. Seems like a perfect time to go take my Norco Range VLT out for its first shakedown ride and give you my first opinion on this new bike. So let's jump in the truck and head over there to Vedder Mountain and put it through its first ride. Okay, but before we jump out on the trail for the first ride and a shakedown, I'm going to show you a couple of things I changed on the bike and a couple of little mods I made from the stock build. So check it out. Here we go. Okay, first up is the cockpit. So I've changed out the stock bar and stem. Went back to my original race face stem that I had on Big Purp. And I've switched to a carbon bar. I'm going to try something different instead of the alloy bar. So I put on a 1-up 20 mil rise bar that I used to have on one of my other Norco bikes, my Fluid VLT, that I really liked. So I'm going to try that on this one. Next is the grips. I've gone with the Gridlock grips from DMR. A little bit of a chunky mushroom style grip. Going to give those a whirl. Had them on Big Purp for a few rides, quite liked them. So we'll see how they set up on this bike. Gotta haul water and tools, so I've got my PD's tool wrap on here, which is an awesome kit for hauling all your CO2 and tools, etc. And then I've also used the Topeak side entry cage. This cage is cool because you can actually flip it so it can do either side. I like using the right side, but water, tools, essentials. And of course, to connect me to the bike, I need some pedals. I'm going with my tried and true Crank Brothers mallets. Love these pedals. Been running them on almost all my bikes for many years since this pedal came out, and it's a real winner in my books. Great pedal, so that's what I'm running. Last but not least, I changed out the stock OEM tubeless valves and went with some PD's alloy valves. I just find these valves are awesome for reliable inflation and inserting fluid if you need to. You can unscrew the cap and just pour the sealant right in through the valve if you want. Plus I also went with longer ones. That's my big complaint, is that with the Bosch system, because you've got the sensor unit here, that the stock valve is too short, so you can barely get a pump to inflate. So I went with these 60 mil valves. Makes a big difference for easily inflating my tires, so big win there. So a couple things I'm going to try that are stock. I'm going to keep the Continental Crip Total tires on here. I want to try these. These are the new soft compounds, so we'll see if those are any different from the ones I had previously on Big Purp, which I did not love. So I'm giving Continental a second chance. And I'm going to try the stock Physique saddle instead of swapping out right away. This one feels pretty decent, so I'm going to try it. Gotta tell you, the best thing so far about this bike is that it is 10 pounds lighter than Big Purp. That's a big difference when I'm loading this baby into the back of the truck. You really notice the weight when you're lifting a bike that's 10 pounds lighter. That is awesome. Okay, so we're starting our climb here at Vedder, and I will say that just out of the box this bike feels great. Fit is really comfortable. Size 3 was definitely the right call for me on this bike. So far just initial fit feeling awesome. Really happy, because having to make a bunch of changes to fit is always a big thing. So out of the box, fit is A1. So definitely happy with the reach and fit on this bike. So I went with a slightly longer stem, about 10 mils longer than the stock stem, which was what I also did on Big Purp. And that is really, for me, seems to be the sweet spot. This bike feels a bit even better as far as my reach goes. I think it might have to do with, you know, maybe some of the numbers here in the head tube angle, the stack, the seat tube angle, probably a couple of tweaks off of what Big Purp was, kind of evolved geometry and kinematics for fit, and it feels amazing. So far really happy with just the overall fit. Let's keep going this way. Okay, well, one other big upgrade that I failed to mention, but I should now, is that I upgraded the control head unit from the stock LED style unit to this new Kiox 400 from Bosch, and wow, this is a must upgrade. Bike doesn't come stock with it, but any bike shop can get you one of these. It's simple, easy install. You can do it yourself. One wire clicks in, you're good to go. One screw, but really cool piece of technology to add to this bike. So this display gives you a lot of information. I have barely dug into it so far, as this is the first ride, but clearly you can see it when I toggle through these menus. It's going to give me a ton of options to play with here. It connects to your phone via the Bosch Flow app, so make sure you have the Bosch Flow app. But this is really such a cool addition to this bike, and something that the previous generation of Bosch bikes lacked. So really stoked on this. So something else that is really cool is that when you have the Bosch Flow app on your phone, it pairs with your bike, which is how everything kind of gets updated and transmitted. So definitely you're gonna need the app, and it's free to get. But one of the cool things is you can actually customize the level of assistance and output that you have on your bike. So it's really cool. I don't know if you can see this, but assistance is default, but on this mode I can go down here and slide this scale, increase the assistance, decrease the assistance. There's the dynamic assist, the maximum speed, the maximum torque, and the maximum power in this mode. All of these are tunable and adjustable. So again, something I'm going to really have to dig into and play around on. I had this feature on Big Purp on my previous bike, but this one's got a few more tweaks and adjustments now as far as max torques go, max torque and max power, because that's changed from the previous generation. So pretty cool. Anyways, more fun things to nerd out on from the tech side of this bike, but we're going to keep going. So another thing I've got to get used to on this bike is to switch back to mechanical shifting instead of electronic shifting. The last couple of bikes have had SRAM axis on it, which was awesome. Precise, exact shifts. And this bike is back to XT and Dior shifters and mechanical, cable driven. But so far it's been pretty good, so no complaints there. Maybe a little bit of lag compared to the axis, but I'm not going to complain. So far so good. Okay, so we're about to go downhill, and the final thing I'll say is that if you have a Norco, do yourself a favor and make sure you use the Ride Aligned setup guide available on norco.com. This is a game changer for setting up your bike, especially for that first ride, to get it very close. So really, you just pick out your model of bike, input your height, your weight. Yeah, you see it there, 200 pounds. Hopefully that gets lighter this year. Pick your frame size, and then I hit next steps. Got my rider position, so I'm good with that, rearward. And then voila, it starts to give me a bunch of setup things. So bar width, bar rise, stem spacers, tire pressure, and then my fork setup and my rear shock setup. So definitely a worthy thing to play around with and get you in the ballpark, so that when it's time to go down, you're feeling good. Let's go. You. yeah, I will say, man, the Ride Align guide is definitely a bit of a game changer for setup on suspension for dummies like me who are not good at that stuff. It just makes it so easy and just simple. And like, I can't get over, honestly, how good for my last bike and for this one the initial setup is for what it's telling me to, you know, set my suspension, my tire pressure, everything. It's quite incredible. So ridealign.com, check it out on your norco.com website or ridealign.com. Yeah. Pro tip on new bike day is carry a set of Allen keys with you for your first ride, because you're going to probably need them to tweak stuff. In this case, I just needed a 4mm because I can do my seat post, my brake levers, stem, bar roll, all that stuff. So I've used this little baby a couple times today on the ride, and makes setup so much easier, and you can really dial in your fit and your feel with just one little Allen key. So that's the bonus pro setup. Okay, so just finished the ride here at Vedder, which is back there, and now I'm down at Cultus Lake right here. Pretty awesome. Great ride. So amazing day and an amazing bike. Okay, so my thoughts on this bike. It's awesome. Did you expect anything else? But seriously, I think there's some real standouts on this bike. First off, the new CX motor by Bosch is next level. It's definitely, you know, ups the ante in the e-bike arms race. More power, more torque, more tunability, and lighter. Those are all good things in my books. So that's number one. Number two, oh, there's an airplane. Anyways, number two, the bike itself, next level. Definite upgrade from Big Purp. The last generation range, 10 pounds lighter. I can't say enough how much of a difference maker that is, and that's probably the biggest difference. Ride feel, ride fit, pretty close to Big Purp, but just in a lighter package, so it just makes for a more fun, playful bike. So I'm pretty stoked on that part too. And third, components. I thought I'd be going backwards a little bit, and I guess on paper, yes, this bike isn't as well spec'd as Big Purp was, but the reality is these are still some pretty top-notch components. Shimano Dior XT, RockShox, Zeb, Vivid Air, you know, good wheels, TRP brakes seem good. So overall, I can't complain on the component package either. So that's another win as well. So yeah, overall, love the bike. I loved how it rode. The fit, the feel are bang on, so that's great. A couple things the jury will still be out on. You know, the saddle, I'm not sure I love that yet. And the tires, I'm not sure I love those yet either, but I gotta give those a couple more rides. So anyways, all in all, awesome first ride. Really stoked on this bike. Can't wait to put some more time in on it ASAP. Well, there you go. That was the first ride on the new Norco Range VLT. Hope you liked the video. If you'd like to learn more about the bike, stay tuned. I'll be doing some more updates on this bike along with some other cool stuff this year, 2026. I got lots of cool stuff planned. And if you have any questions about the bike, feel free, throw them in the comments. I'll get back to you and let you know. Right on. Have a wicked awesome day. Ooh.